congratulate it to the outreach part. This is when it gets hard. So you have gone through onboarding, you've gone through your rough story. You should have a rough deck that we got through. Your deck should be designed. We've gone through feedback with the group and with myself. You've asked for help and feedback on the deck. You got it all done with a designer. You put together a base targeting list. You're starting to figure out the outreach system. And now is when it really starts. Even though only about half of this is done, I would say that from a time perspective, this probably makes up 25% of the program, and this makes up 75% of the time. This stuff is really hard to get through. Each level gets harder and harder. You should basically be thinking about this stage over the next, call it week and a half, is that you need to have 200 names and messaged. That sounds maybe like a lot to you, but it is nothing when it comes to this process. And I'm going to show you examples of why that's true. So here's 183 messages I sent. And out of those messaged I sent, 3 of them are still in the scheduling phase. And I'll show you one of those conversations soon. And 20 of them I got through actually a response and talking to them in some sort of capacity in real time, whether that be on Zoom or a phone call, but some sort of actual real-time conversation. So overall, let's say I sent about 200 messages, because I'm sure I didn't count all of them. Then I had about a 10% conversion of messages sent to intro done. And that's pretty high, even though that is high. And here's why. Because 35% of the messages I sent were to people that were already warm, and 65% was to people that were cold. So I'm going to show you the kind of my logic of how I break down cold versus warm intros. And it's through this graph right here. So I always think about doing cold before warm because I'm trying to basically build networking momentum. Obviously, it's going to take a longer time for someone to respond to a cold message than if they're warm, because they want to keep their reputation intact. They want to respond to you quickly. You know, they're warm. They're a friend or friendly. Whereas the cold people might let it sit for a week and think about if it's really worth responding to or not. And maybe they only respond once you've followed up the second or third time. So I'll start with cold messages, do that for about a week. And then at the week mark, I'll keep doing the cold messages for another week, but I'll also add in the warm messages. And so that's what you can see I did here. And that merged and blended into about a 10% conversion of outreach to introduction. Realistically, a conversion rate of, let's say 5% would be really good if your metric is you are only doing Zoom calls with people or phone calls. I cheat a little bit, and some of these I only spoke to on email or DM, and that's okay because I'm not actually fundraising, but I wanted to show the examples of how this works by proving the process. Here's an example of someone that responded. So SC Moati is awesome. Andrew Chen, who's the general partner of Andreessen Horowitz, I saw online gave a quote talking about SC and said that she is a genius at making products people love. SC has a Stanford MBA. She's a Kauffman Fellow, graduated Columbia University, and she's the CEO of a community with 300,000 product managers. So like, this woman's awesome. On December 9th, 2024, I send her a message. Hey, SC, my last company raised from General Catalyst and Top Angels. I've gone through a painstaking process recently to find the best 10 startups in my network. Would you be open to a quick call where I can learn your thesis and determine if intros to those founders would make sense? So again, my last company raised, that's my credibility statement. I've gone through a painstaking 10 startups. That's my quantifying. That's my, proving there's demand. And then this is my call to action if it's a good fit. Now she didn't respond. So 5 days later, I sent another message following up. Just wanted to follow up. Would love to share some deals. She responds the next day. So it's been 5 days since my first message. And this is a busy woman. She's got 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, some 35. She says, "Hi, Brandon. Happy to learn more. Please share." And then I respond, "Awesome. Would any of these times work for you?" Trying to get on a call with her. But I always give her the non-threatening out of like, or if too much trouble, just let me know what's best for you and I'll make it work on my schedule. Thanks for response. I wasn't sure I didn't think she was going to get a call with me. So she then says, "Hi, Brandon. Easiest would be if you could share a list and I'll let you know which companies could be interesting for us. Thanks." So, all right, awesome idea. I'll put that together. Now, this was on December 15th. Over the next 10 days, I sent her different deals. I sent her multiple messages and introduction offers. And then we got to the point on January 9th. So about actually exactly 1 month after I first messaged her. So it took 1 full month of working the conversation. And then she said, "Hi, Don. Happy 2025. I tried to book a time, but there's nothing in January." That was my fault. I sent her a broken Calendly. I said, "Hi, SC. Does 4 p.m. today work for you or 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, Wednesday? If not, just let me know what works for you and I'll make it work." And then she responds with Thursday, tomorrow, right? And then also gives me her email. So amazing. Like I took that's a conversation from nothing to having her email and having her offer times to chat with me from a really credible investor who has 35,000 followers on LinkedIn, who has the Andreessen Horowitz partners talking about her, and who has an incredible resume. So that's great. The system worked, right? It's just a simple message and a simple follow-up at scale. It worked here with Angelo as well. And I did speak with on the phone. He's awesome. Again, same message, basically. I've refined the message, but it's credible. It's got a number in it, and it's a non-committal ask. Angelo, when I asked if he'd like to do a quick call, Angelo said, "Sure, I'm game. How is this Friday?" Gives me his email. So just like SC, got a date, a time, email.